This person felt, knew, but hesitated. This person wanted to but didn't say anything, had the chance but didn't stay, was afraid of seeming fragile, of giving in, of losing themselves in someone else. So they pulled back, and what could have been love became doubt. It turned into distance. It became a story that never happened. This person pretended they needed more time. But it was an escape. It was fear of losing control. They preferred to observe from a distance rather than dive in, preferred silence over saying what they really felt, preferred to overthink rather than feel completely. And the other side noticed the weight of words unspoken, noticed the lack of presence, realized they couldn't carry both. This person wasn't clear, wasn't firm, wasn't fair, wanted love but didn't act for it. They waited for a sign, but ignored that the sign was the opportunity itself. This person expected guarantees, but love never offers guarantees. It only offers a chance, and now when they remember, they realize everything they let slip away. What they didn't say, what they didn't do, what they didn't uphold. This person lost, not because the other left, but because they didn't have the courage to stay. Have you ever been afraid to move forward and ended up losing what you loved most? Comment here. I needed to hear this. This person thinks it was time, thinks it was the wrong moment, thinks it was the other person. But no, it was them. It was this person who chose the no. Now they carry the emptiness of everything that could have been. They carry the echo of what had no voice. They carry the face that still appears in dreams, but will never return. This person had love right in front of them, and still let it slip away. Have you experienced this too? Share in the comments. This person now realizes it wasn't about waiting for the right moment. It was about having the courage to live what was already happening, but maybe now it's too late. Or maybe regret is just beginning. This person wasn't deceived. She wasn't betrayed. She wasn't left behind. This person just hesitated. And in that tiny moment, so subtle, everything started to slip away. It wasn't a day. It wasn't a gesture. It was the accumulation of everything that was left unsaid. This person felt it. She knew there was something there. It wasn't just anything. It wasn't interest, attraction, or fantasy. It was love, even if she didn't know how to name it, even if she still tried to deny it. And maybe that's what scared her, because she wasn't ready to be seen, to be touched from within, to have her defenses crossed effortlessly. This person had plans, routines, fears, and love didn't fit into any of those folders, but it showed up, without warning, without context, without logic. And still this person felt it in her body, in her trembling voice, in her breath that changed when near, in the strange lightness after each encounter. But she also felt fear, a lot of fear, and that fear was disguised as, I need to think this through, as, I'm not sure, as, I need time. The truth? This person knew, from the very beginning. She knew there was truth in it. She knew it was different. She knew it was rare. But she chose to pretend she didn't notice. She chose to put up barriers where she should have put her presence. She chose to protect herself from what was never a threat. And that came at a cost, because the other side, who also felt, also noticed the discomfort, noticed the long silences, noticed the fear disguised as independence, noticed the absence, even on days when the body was close. He noticed and waited for this person to allow herself, waited for a gesture, a phrase, a look that said, stay, I want to try. But it didn't come. This person remained confused, stuck, saying she needed to understand. But what she needed was to stop running away. Have you ever felt this? Have you ever had the chance to experience something real and froze? Comment, I needed to hear this. Because this person, today, realizes, and it hurts. It hurts differently. It hurts deeper, because it wasn't rejection. It was self-abandonment. It was the chance to be happy slipping through the fingers, by choice. It wasn't an impulsive mistake. It was a slow surrender, invisible yet real. This person didn't leave all at once. They faded away, stopped expressing what they felt, reduced their engagement, and each time the other person got closer, they retreated further. It was as if they were saying, don't touch me that much. Don't see me so clearly. Don't give me so much affection. And then, the other understood. They understood that love couldn't be one-sided, that you couldn't be a bridge without a shore on the other side. And they left. No shouting, no drama, no anger. They just went. And this person felt it. At that moment, they may not have shown it. Perhaps they told themselves it was for the best, that everything was okay, that it wasn't meant to be. But days later, without warning, the absence hit, not of the other person, but of themselves. Because by saying, "I don't know if I want this," what this person truly lost was the chance to be whole, to be seen, to be vulnerable without fear, to be loved, even in the hardest parts. And now this person looks back, revisits the messages, the memories, the moments when they could have stayed just 5 more minutes, the touches they avoided, the "me too" they didn't say, the "I'm sorry" they swallowed, and each small choice made a whole. Today, this person says they miss something, but they're not exactly sure what, because they never lived fully. So what they miss isn't the other. It's the possibility. It's what never was. It's what they declined without understanding why. This person now realizes what they ignored back then, that love isn't measured, it isn't planned, it isn't understood, it's lived. And they didn't live. Have you ever experienced something like this? Comment below. This tore me apart inside, because that's exactly how this person feels now. It's not ordinary regret. It's a sensation of having betrayed themselves, of having left their own heart at the door. It's looking in the mirror and no longer recognizing who they've become, because they lost something that was a mirror too. This person remembers the smell, the way the other made them laugh, the peace in their chest, the warmth in their voice. They remember everything, but there's no way to go back, because love, when not nurtured, changes form. The other might have moved on. Maybe they still remember. Maybe they still love, but from a distance, with caution, with the pain of someone who offered the world and received silence in return. This person thought they would have time, that they could wait, that they would figure it out later, but later never came. Today they realize that moment was unique, and it won't return, not with the same purity, not with the same intensity. This person still feels, but doesn't say anything, still thinks, but doesn't reach out. They pretend everything is fine, but they know they've lost. Lost not as punishment, but out of fear. Fear of loving, fear of making mistakes, fear of not being enough. And ironically, by trying to avoid the pain, they caused the worst of all. The pain of never having tried, the pain of not knowing what could have been, the pain of realizing too late that it was indeed love. And now this person only lives with emptiness, with the presence of absence, with the shadow of what could have been, with the memory of a touch that will not return, with the echo of a voice that no longer responds. This person wanted to protect themselves, but they left themselves behind, and the other took only what was left of hope. Have you ever felt this way? What was the first time you lost someone because you didn't have the courage? Share in the comments below, because today this person sees everything, every ignored gesture, every unspoken word, every night of doubt instead of presence, and realizes that love was right there, strong, available, simple, but it wasn't enough, because love always requires choice. And this person chose fear. Now the days are silent. Others do not fill the void. Conversations do not resonate, and no matter how hard they try, it doesn't feel the same. Because when love is true but not lived, nothing else reaches the same place. This person knows, even if they don't speak, even if they continue to smile, even if they say they're at peace. They know, and that's something no one can take away. If this resonates with you, share it with someone who also needs to reflect on it. This person tries to fill the void. They change their surroundings. They change the people around them. They even change the way they look at things. But the emptiness remains in the same spot, because it's not an emptiness of absence. It's an emptiness of not having been. This person might even be with someone right now, sharing a bed, exchanging messages, going out on Sundays. But deep down they know they are alone, because those who truly touch you leave a mark. And the mark that the other person left, no one else can reach. This person compares, even without meaning to. Even without admitting it. They compare the laughter, they compare the gaze, they compare the calmness, and they always realize, that nothing there carries the same weight. This person starts to understand that love cannot be replaced. You can't force another face into a memory that still lives on. You can't build something new on the ruins of a resignation. And it burns, silently, Every single day, this person catches themselves imagining conversations that never happened, responses that never came, endings that could have been different. But what hurts the most isn't the end. It's the beginning that was never allowed to grow. This person was their own obstacle. They were the one who closed the door, who turned away, who waited for proof of something that was already proven in the gesture, in the touch, in the presence. But now, there's nothing left to prove. All that's left is acceptance. Do you feel this too? Have you ever had to face the guilt of not choosing the right person at the right time? If this makes sense, write in the comments. I know how it feels. This person tried to erase it, tried to forget, tried to move on with other promises, but no promise tastes like the truth when the heart is still tied to a possibility. And do you know what's the worst part? This person still remembers the details. The first time their eyes met, the way the other laughed at their own jokes, the touch that sent shivers effortlessly, the silences that weren't uncomfortable, but healing. Everything is still there, untouched, as if time couldn't erase what was never fully lived. This person thinks the other has forgotten, that they've moved on, that they don't feel anything anymore. But deep down, this person is still waiting, even if they deny it, even if they swear they've gotten over it, even if they tell everyone it's in the past. They wait for a sign, a message, a chance encounter. But they also know maybe that chance will never come, because those who leave with wounds don't return by the same path. This person lost the chance to love someone who was ready, and now they only find halves, incomplete people, shy loves, empty touches. Do you see what this means? It means that when life put something real in front of them, this person turned away, and now they can't find the same reflection in anyone else. If this has happened to you, comment, I let it slip away. This person sometimes tries to convince themselves it was for the best, that everything happens for a reason, that it just wasn't meant to be. But every time nostalgia hits, that narrative crumbles. Because deep down this person knows it was meant to be. But it didn't happen because they didn't choose it. And that is non-negotiable. It is irretrievable. It's like a window that closed by itself because no one had the courage to cross through. This person has learned, yes. They've learned that love requires presence. They've learned that those who wait too long lose. They've learned that there is no later when love demands now. But the lesson came too late. It came with loss. It came with pain. It came with absence. And now there's no one to give it back. This person looks in the mirror and sees the reflection of someone who wanted control and lost the chance, who wanted security and lost their heart, who wanted time and ended up with no story. Have you ever been that person? Finish this sentence in the comments. Being that person in Brazil is, this person still breathes, they still live, but part of them stopped there, at the exact moment when love asked for presence and they offered doubt. And the worst part of all is that they knew, I always knew, from the very first day. They just didn't have the courage, and now there's no going back, just memories. This person lives as if they left something unfinished, as if they tried to move on but carry a lingering what if stuck in their throat, as if they learned from absence. This person didn't lose by chance. They lost because they didn't express what they felt, because they didn't stay when they could have, because they chose fear. And now they live surrounded by noise, but without any true connection. Have you ever felt this way too? As if amidst so many people there's still someone specific who hasn't left you. As if all attempts to move on are just disguised ways of avoiding the fact that the love that mattered is gone. This person tries to compensate, works more, pretends to be busy, enters into new relationships, but they know none of them touch the same spot. Because what was lost wasn't just a person. It was the most vulnerable, most authentic, most alive version that only existed close to that love. This person now realizes that it wasn't meant to be understood. It was meant to be lived, but they didn't live. And now, time doesn't negotiate. If you've experienced this too, or if you're going through it now, leave a comment below about what touched you the most in this video. What part gave you a lump in your throat? Comment, I was that person, and today I realize. Your comment might help others to see themselves too. Maybe someone will read it and avoid making the same mistake. And if this message made you think, made you pause, made you remember, give it a like now. It's a simple gesture, but it shows YouTube that this content needs to reach more people who are right where you were, or still are. Subscribe to the channel too. Here you will never receive canned phrases or generic answers. Here it's raw feeling, just the way life really is. And with every video we dig deeper, to touch what no one else wants to touch. And finally, share this video with someone you feel has also turned their back on true love. With someone who still has time to wake up. We lose a lot out of fear, but we can also gain everything. If we decide to feel before it's too late, this person realized you can still